Because your father was in World War One, right?
Yep.
But never went to World War Two, right?
He tried to join.
Yeah, apparently, but couldn't get in or something. He's too
because
old
he,
or something.
Because he turned down having an operation after World War One, and they wouldn't take him.
Oh, he turned down an operation?
Yeah, they wanted to operate on him for something. I can't remember what it was for.
He was injured during the war or something?
Yeah.
And he said, she'll be right, leave it or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, he did all right, didn't he? So it can't have been too bad.
No, I tried to join up, and they wouldn't have him.
Well, they held that against him.
Well, sort of, and at the same time, they manpowered him. He was a builder and a carpenter, see? And they manpowered him. They used to get people like tradesmen out and say, like, you manpower, you're gonna go and help to build this camp for the Yanks that are coming here, things like that.
Yeah, so he's like an engineer type.
And so he was up in Parua and a couple of camps up there they built for the Yanks.
Yeah.
And he did quite well. He came back with a big sword and all sorts of things. Well, when one of the Yanks came, and he had a Japanese flag with blood all over it. And
Really?
yeah.
Like real blood?
Yeah, one of the Yanks came.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, the
souvenirs, eh?
Well, the Yanks used to come here on leave from
yeah,
the islands,
they did,
see?
didn't they?
Yeah.
They ended up with a few kids left over too, didn't they?
And,
apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them ended up in Parliament.
Sorry?
One of them ended up in Parliament.
One of those?
What's his name? What's her name?
Tariana Turia.
Yeah, Tariana Turia.
Her dad?
Yeah.
Her father's bloody American.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, not many people
How did I
do.
miss out on that bit of information?
Because they keep it
They
pretty
kept
bloody
that quiet,
that's
did
why.
they? Well, it's no big deal, but, you know, it's not her fault who she came from.
No, really.
It's just funny that it's kept so quiet.
Really, it's no big deal to us, but for some reason they just kept
Yeah.
lid on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, Tariana.
So your dad actually wanted to go back. That's the funny thing, cause
No, I didn't particularly want to go back there, but he wanted back in the army and helping.
well, some kind of
He wanted to be,
a role, right? So,
yeah, he wanted to be in there. Yeah. But
so what did he actually do in the First World War then? Like,
well, he was a corporal in the army. I don't know exactly what he was.
I suppose he didn't talk about it much, things like that anyway, did they?
No, not a lot at all.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of the guys coming back from the First World War and that just came back and then that was it, right? They didn't
I know he was
want
back.
to talk about it or whatever.
He was invalided back to England, see, quite a while. And he managed to get to Ireland.
Hmm.
He
Check out his history.
Hmm?
Check out his history.
Possibly, well, his mother came from there.
Yeah. Was that Kilkenny or something?
He got to kiss the Blarney Stone, as they all used to do there.
Yeah. So he got to so he got something out of the trip. Free trip to Ireland, eh?
There's something a bit more amusing than that. There was a knock on the door one time in Cornwall, and this lady was there, and she says, "Does Dick Thomas live here?" And I said, "Yep." But I said, "He's not here at the moment. He was away working."
Mm.
Oh yeah, well. Just tell him that Minnie from Blighty called.
Oh.
And she had a husband and 4 kids with her.
Yeah. Minnie from Blighty called,
Minnie
eh?
from Blighty.
Oh, nice. And you remember the name, do you?
Oh, have you?
Not many people came around asking things like that, is that right?
No.
Minnie from Blighty.
Yeah. Minnie from Blighty.
Well, we just don't know what that's about, so no guessing.
Which didn't mean a lot to me at the time.
But you remembered the details, my God.
Oh, have you? It's quite funny. I didn't see her again, but introduced her kids to him. And her husband.
Good friends.
Hmm?
Good friends.
It's quite funny.
So your father married first?
No,
Before
he
going
wasn't
to
married,
war?
only kid. No, only kid.
He was quite young.
Yeah.
Would have been a real adventure there, wouldn't it?
Well, how long were they married for?
Huh?
How long were they married for, Grandad?
Oh, bugger if I know, I never asked them.
Well, they both died in their 90s.
Well, Mona was the firstborn. How old is she? She's
Well,
How old is she
94.
now? Like 94.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when did...
Is she still quite good, Nick? Like,
Yep. She
And
rang
how old
me
was-
yesterday and the day before. No, she rang the day before and the day before.
And how old was
that's
she
really
when-
amazing, isn't it? So
when they
she's
died?
like a little wee woman. So,
She's tiny,
Uh,
eh?
She's different. Mona's a different person.
She's lovely.
Beautiful.
and she was always very nice. But she
She's
had
got
so
them-
many kids.
She's one of the most
She's so
calm
tough.
people you ever come across in life.
Yeah, but had so many kids.
She had 12.
Like physically to have so many kids and then
Yeah,
live
and then
that
she-
long.
And she was
Just
she got
shows
quite
us.
she was quite well up in the medical because she was a
Amazing.
sister in the heart unit in Dunedin. She was the theatre sister.
What do you mean by sister? Nurse?
Oh, yeah, one of the top nurses there.
They call them sisters back then?
Well, they call them sisters, yeah. That's,
Is that old vernacular?
yeah, it is.
They probably don't say
They
that
don't do
anymore.
it anymore now.
Yeah, the sisters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit dodgy. But
Matrons and sisters.
yeah. Sounds
Oh,
almost
they used to
religious
call
or
them
something, doesn't it?
No.
Well, yeah, it sounds like, but it's not really. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was a nurse basically.
Look,
But
Mona was
quite
going.
high
Mona
up.
was going to Taylor University. She was studying microbiology or something, and they were right opposite the hospital. And for some reason she thought, oh, I see all these nurses here. I think I'd like to be one of them. So she went and joined them.
Nice. Sorry.
And it wasn't that easy to be a nurse in those days. The matron was the big boss, like it was just like the military.
Yeah, it's what's hard to imagine for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
All we can imagine is stuff we've seen on TV or whatever.
They were
Can
they were
imagine
strict.
it was probably quite popular.
They had to be in
back
it
then.
strictly on time at night and all sorts of things. She lived in the night in the nurse's home.
And then she snuck out and had about 12 kids.
Oh well, that was a bit later.
Yeah, it's just I've been away from Dunedin so long, you know.
There's still 11 of them live.
Was it Johnny? John?
Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny's back.
The boy, right? The youngest boy.
He's the youngest one, yeah, John.
Because he came and played for my rugby team
Did he?
in Dunedin years ago. Yeah, you know, I used to play for Kaikoura Seconds team, right?
He's back in Dunedin,
And-
yeah.
I bumped into him and I said, geez, you're a big boy. Would you like to play rugby? And
Really?
he says, oh, I haven't played since St. Paul's High School.
Yeah.
I said, it doesn't matter. Just look, you're a big boy. Just if you know,
That was your cousin.
play for 5 minutes, you'll be fine.
But
Because
he's
we're
been
always short of fat people. And and he's like, oh, yeah, he turned up. He turned up and played a whole game. They hadn't played for years.
And did you know?
It was quite funny. They
Well, I
had
knew he was, but I didn't know him well.
they had
But it was just quite funny because, you know,
I
he
had a big
just turned up and
photograph-
played for us.
I had a big, it wasn't a photograph, but it was a big picture
I thought it
of
was Korea.
of a boy crying.
8 years
Mm.
or something.
And where was it? Where was it? One of you lot, anyway, looks up and says, "Why is Johnny crying?"
That's
Remember the theatre
Oh,
when they were living out in the Glen in those days.
he was a funny boy. Did he get married or anything? Or?
No, he went to Korea. And he was in Korea most of his life, really. Until
Well, I know he went to Korea because I even chatted to him at some stage.
he was teaching school.
I was in Japan or something, and I was thinking of visiting him or something. I can't remember. yeah, I kept in touch a little bit. You know, like I said, he played for the rugby team, and he turned out pretty friendly. But I ended up going back to Japan and stuff. You see,
I didn't even know him.
really,
I didn't. Once,
you know, a few emails.
once
and I
he
was
grew
gonna
up, I
visit,
never met him.
He's quite a big boy.
He's back in Dunedin. I asked Mona about him the other day. It's there. He's there. He's in Dunedin. I don't know what he's doing.
Was it his mother that had the appendix out on the kitchen table or something?
Yeah. No,
No, that was-
no, that's Auntie Mary's.
Oh, that's Auntie Mary, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, appendix out
Because
on the
that's
kitchen table.
That's because there was an epidemic of polio going on,
A polio epidemic.
and they didn't want to do any operations in the local hospital because scared of people catching it. And she had appendicitis, and they had to go. So and our kitchen table at the time was a pool table.
Pool table.
An actual pool
Yeah, a
table.
pool table. Oh, it was a great big pool table, and you
It
took,
had holes.
Did you play pool?
No.
We played muck around with it, yeah, but
Ate dinner.
the top was oak sort of plank things that sat on top. You didn't. I mean, we ate our dinner on top of the damn thing, right? And if you wanted to play pool, you took the top off,
Oh,
and that was our kitchen table.
pretty cool, eh? And
Oh,
it's an
well.
operating table as well.
Well, I didn't see it this way, but I only had to go when it was told me.
Did you want to see it?
Not particularly, no.
You weren't really
Not
into
that I remember.
blood sports, okay?
She was young though, wasn't she?
I wasn't really into blood sports, no.
Oh.
Although I used to kill plenty of rabbits.
Yeah, the rabbit problem went way back then, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Worse then than it is now.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard case, isn't it?
Used to go shooting rabbits. Well, you got to sell the
Yeah.
skins.
Same old.
Skin them, stick them on a bit of wire,
Mm.
hang them on the fence until they dry.
Yeah, some of the things that you were doing in Central then probably still happening today.
Mum and I used to go,
Just in a
Dad and I used to
different
go, hey, Mum used to go rabbit shooting too.
Oh yeah, should shoot. Like, what sort of rifle do you use back then?
22.
22 as well?
Yeah, Winchester 22.
Oh yeah?
Write that down, Mum. Winchester 22.
Oh yeah.
And had to hit them in. We had to try and hit them in the head because
Hit them between the
otherwise
eyes.
you ruin the skin. You see.
Yeah.
Mum used to do it, and
Well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Your mum went rabbit hunting.
but Dad and I used to go in summertime. We'd go. We get a reel of cotton and a bit of string and had a knife and a rifle, and we'd go shoot rabbits until it was getting dark, right?
Mm.
And we'd save at least one just to get the legs,
Mm.
and you
Pull it a bit. And
you got a reel of cotton, put the cotton all around the legs, see? Tie it on a bit of string on the end of a pole, and dunk it in the Clutha River. And when you got a bite, you go whang, try and
Eels.
get the eel out of the water.
yeah.
And then you had to catch it and put it in a bag.
Yeah, before I
And
got
you
back in the water.
covered in slime from head to foot.
Yeah, but that river would have been good, right? Nice, clean river.
Oh,
so
that
the
was
eels would have been good eating.
beautiful, clear,
Yeah.
blue water. It
Would have
was.
been good eating.
Probably still is.
So that's the, yeah. It's a funny way to catch an eel, isn't it? But the teeth point backwards, don't they? So all the little teeth point backwards, don't they?
Oh, yeah, thousands of them.
Yeah, so if they grabbed on,
Yeah, they really grab.
catch onto the cotton,
Yeah. So we used to
and
catch
just
eels and
flick them out. Yeah,
And
it's
we'd
one
take-
way to do it.
take them home in the bag and try and give them away. It wasn't too hard to give them away because people were hungry in those days.
Mm. Well,
Was
they're
it-
actually pretty good food, but it just got to be from clean water.
It was the Depression years, and people. Well, there were lots of people. We called them swaggers for some reason, and they'd turn up and they had nothing, and they'd build tents and have a fire at the end,
Mm.
and they kept them from freezing to death. Things like that, you know. And of course they're always hungry. It wasn't hard to give food away.
Well, anything edible probably. If you don't
And
have
Dad-
anything, you'd be happy with an eel.
Dad had a section next door, and he used to plant a whole lot of spuds in it.
Mm.
Well, we used to use some of the spuds, but he only grew them to give away to these poor buggers that didn't have anything.
Well, that was pretty good, wasn't
And the
it?
Chinese, local Chinese and that too.
That was pretty nice of him, wasn't it?
Well,
Because he was like just a
over
carpenter,
there,
right?
somewhere in that, over there it says about my grandfather, he used to, the Chinese miners and that, they had nothing, you know.
Mm.
And if one of them died, he would make a casket for nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
So he used to make coffins for
Yeah,
poor people who had nothing.
yeah.
Oh, what a nice guy, eh?
Yeah, and there was people were like that. Not everybody, but a lot of people were. Help one another.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, although you can come off second best. Yeah. Dad came off second best. Yeah.
We don't win every time anyway, but
Yeah, well, the trouble was, people didn't have any money, but they wanted to have a new house or something. You know. And Dad made a mistake of financing the house. Never got any money back at all. Broke him, actually. Broke the business.
Oh no. Was that in Dunedin or Cromwell?
Cromwell.
Cromwell.
Yeah.
So there's a house there now that he financed or like built it himself or
He built it himself. Designed and built
didn't
it
see any
for
money.
somebody, but he lent him the money, you see. Of course, the guy just went bankrupt. And you got nothing.
So the house may or may not be sitting there today.
Oh, well, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Might be underwater.
The house is, Dad's house is still there. The one that I was there when I was born.
Did he actually build that one too?
Eh?
Did he build that one too? Or
Yeah, he designed and built it himself.
so the house that he built is still sitting there?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh, I've got piles of
I mean,
photographs.
I know the church and all that, but I've never seen
Oh,
it.
I've got piles of photographs.
Oh, I'd like to.
Les has actually been in it because
Looks nice on the outside.
Les was there, might have been when Declan's wedding
Got
or whatever
married,
it was.
yeah.
And Dad's busting his guts to go and have a look at his house, see, and I said, okay.
Well,
Well. So we went and knocked on the door and asked the guy, and told the story. Oh, yeah, showed us all through.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
Right,
do
well-
you know the address?
Yeah, it's in the Scott Street. And it's right next door to the two sequoia trees. Which
Do you
were
know
there when I
what
was
number,
born.
I suppose? Oh.
It's opposite the church, isn't it?
Oh, the church is around the corner.
Around the corner.
Do you know the number?
You don't need to know the number.
I just know the.
There's only two sequoia trees there.
Okay, there's two sequoia trees opposite that, and that's the house that.
I don't know where the photograph. Well, they
Richard
must
built.
have seen them the other day, but I don't know
I
where they
had
are
them when
now.
they were looking at photos, yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's quite cool, isn't it? I mean, the house is still there.
Well, the
Oh,
photos.
the house is still there.
It must have been a
It's
good
concrete.
solid. Oh, is it concrete? How?
Yeah. It's built of
He's a
concrete.
carpenter, but he.
Yeah.
It's funny, I haven't heard back from Stuart.
You boys are
Oh, the house was going to fall down. Let's
You
have
must be alright.
Oh,
Pretty big
there is
earthquake over there.
there is a thing here.
How was it?
Hmm?
A message from Stuart.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
You got it.
Yeah, she seems okay now, and I'll just stay here,
Okay.
which was good.